So I just finished watching 13 Reasons Why on Netflix. I finished that yesterday, finished the last episode. I loved it. I loved all the episodes. There were some moments when I cried, there were some moments when I was angry, when I was confused, and yeah, I mean, it was everything. And usually when I get a lot of emotions from a movie, you know, from watching a movie or a TV series, it means that it's good for me. I mean, this is my criteria. I also like to learn something from movies and TV series that I'm watching, and with this one it was not more about learning but about just remembering some things in my life. And today I want to share with you my story. Or not even my story, but just little parts of my teenager life. Also some of my thoughts about episodes and what happened there. Just some things that I have on my mind, basically. And I thought that I will talk about all those things in this Get Ready With Me. So I will create a makeup look inspired by Hannah Baker character. And I will start by applying my Peripera Ink Cushion foundation. And I like to apply this one actually with my beauty blender. So as I mentioned already, this TV series just made me remember some things that happened to me when I was in school, when I was in high school, and even in university, like in the first year. Now in 13 Reasons Why, we have some other, how to say, some other issues, some other problems. Now in my life I had some different problems. I mean, the character Hannah Baker, you know, there was more about slut shaming, about you know, how those girls were raped, suicide, things like this. And I mean, there were a lot of issues accentuated in the episodes. In my life I had a different life, let's say like this, and my issues were all tied to the fact that I was overweight. And I'm sure if you are a long-time subscriber, you already know about this, because I talked about these things in some other videos. And you know, at one point I also wanted to... Okay, and this is the reason why I don't like to talk about these things, because I get so emotional. I cannot even apply my foundation. But on the other side we will see if this foundation is a waterproof foundation. I mean, I can wipe off my tears and stuff like this. So that's a plus. And I really don't understand why I always cry when talking about these things. I'm not even talking about it, but just remembering. Okay, I will just continue to apply my foundation and maybe it will go away. Maybe. I don't even know if I should apply concealer now or not. Okay, I will just use my Peripera Ink Corrector and then I will use the concealer. This is in Peach. You know that they had an extra episode at the end. Basically the actors, the producers, some psychologists were talking about you know, 13 Reasons Why, and I mean the author of the book as well. At what point the psychologist, I think, said that people really like to just keep everything inside them and not talk about the issues, about, you know, what happened in the past with them, just because they are afraid, just because of some other reasons. I mean, yeah, this happens all the time. If they don't speak about their issues, about what happened, what they have, you know, inside them, what is, I don't know, it's making them sad, they tend to just be even more closed inside. And the more you actually speak about the problem, the more you say it aloud, say it to everyone, it's not a secret anymore, you will not be afraid of it, it loses its power. That bad thing that happened to you, the more you speak about it, the more you will just minimize it it will lose its power against you. I mean, against your soul, I guess. When I have these moments and I understand that I'm so emotional when speaking about my issues, about what happened to me in the past and all these things, and I started crying, I realized that I still actually have that problem and it's making me sad. And then I realized that I cannot really talk about those things, because when I look back at, you know, what happened to me when I was a teenager and how was my life and all that, I mean, I understand that those issues that I had, those things, those problems, what happened to me is just equal to zero in comparison to someone that, you know, has more problem, maybe has a disease that cannot be treated, or, you know, don't have a leg, don't have an arm, or I don't know, don't have parents or things like this. I mean, really serious things. So I think this is what stops me to talk about my problems to other people, maybe. But at the same time, I understand that, you know, what is a really big problem for someone may not seem like it is a big problem for someone else that did not go through that particular thing. They cannot understand really, like, understand fully what happens inside of that person that is going through some things. So what I'm trying to say is that what is the end of the world for me is not the end of the world for you. And I think this is what stops a lot of people to talk about their problem with someone else. And there is another thing. You are just afraid that they will not understand what are you talking about, or they will not understand how you feel about that problem. Or maybe, you know, how was in the case of Jessica, and also in the case of Hannah, how Bryce, you know, just raped those girls. To talk about this thing, you know, to explain this to a parent or to someone else is just really, really hard. And I was actually very just angry when I saw, you know, at the end, the counselor, how he was speaking with Hannah, and he said that, you know, if you don't want to face the problem, you should just move on and live your life. I think a lot of the girls actually accept this way of solving the problem, but the problem would not be solved, actually, will not at all. The best way to solve the problem is actually to speak about it. Even with lies, you know that the more lies you say, the more complicated it gets. You say one lie in the beginning and then you need to start saying some other lies to cover that first lie. So it's always better to say just, you know, the truth, what is real. Because when you start to, you know, cover a lie with some other lies on top, and you are so lost in a lot of lies, you don't even know exactly what is real anymore, and this will affect your consciousness, this will affect your soul, it will affect you, just your inside. Now, as I mentioned already, my problems were a little bit different, and I was not a kid, I was not going to any kind of parties, I was not liking to go to parties. Since I was a small kid, I wanted to have friends, I wanted to play with other kids, but at the same time I was kind of alone all the time. I mean, even if I had some kind of like friends when I was little, I was inside always alone, and I don't know why I had this feeling. Let me actually apply my powder right now. I don't know if I will cry again, I hope not. I was a chubby kid. I mean, since I was, even when I was 2-3 years old, I was still a chubby kid. You know, sometimes kids, you know, have that baby fat, and then they just lose it, and they start to, you know, grow up, and they're not as chubby as, you know, they were when they were kids. I was quite overweight all the time, and because, you know, in our society it was just very bad to be overweight. Especially, you know, at that time, other girls, you know, had more like a skinny complexion. I don't know, I felt like I was inferior in a way. If you are intelligent, you can be, you know, just smart enough to understand that these things, you know, the weight, the height, things like this, things, you know, related to your body are not important. But I guess with, you know, all the pressure from society, all the pressure from my parents, my family, I started to believe in this thing that I was inferior somehow. And I mean, of course, all the kids in school were saying all the time bad things about me. I mean, related to my weight, they were calling me different names. And yeah, in the beginning you are just angry, but you know, when they keep saying all these things over and over again for years, this really affects you, and it affected me. Now I will take this shade from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I will apply this all over my eyelids. And 13 reasons why. Basically, there were a lot of issues accentuated, a lot of problems, you know, about bullying, about suicide, you know, about, of course, how that boy raped the girls, substance abuse, a lot of issues. And in this way, the episodes were just very educational. Not only for teenagers, for teens, for young people, young adults, but also for mature people as well, for parents, for people that work, you know, in schools. We can all learn from those episodes. And now I will apply in the crease this shade from the Rouge Antigo eyeshadow palette. Hannah has a very like, soft brown smoky eye, like a daytime smoky eye look, so I will try to recreate that with these eyeshadows. There were 3 moments from 3 different episodes that really just, I think, were the most powerful ones, were some of the most powerful ones. The episode, you know, with Bryce, Jessica and Justin at the party, and how Hannah was there as well and saw what happened, and how Justin also was affected as well, because he was, I know, you know, some people always try to judge and say that you should not do this, or how could you do this, or what was in your mind, but we cannot really understand, you know, how everything happened, what was in their mind, what was the reason why they acted like this. I mean, people always can judge, but at the end, as you noticed in episodes, some people, you know, were not even like thinking that they were bad to Hannah, that they did something wrong that affected her. But, and even in our life, you know, sometimes we just don't remember what we did, or we just don't think that that particular thing was bad in a way to some other, you know, people or just another person, but in their mind it was bad, for them it was bad. Sometimes you may think that you are doing something good, for example, for a person, but in that person's opinion you are doing something bad. So yeah, you never know if you are good or bad with a person. I mean, in your mind you may think that you know, you did nothing wrong, but in their opinion things are totally different. And even with Hannah, you know, some people can say that, you know, some of those kids were not so bad to her, were not, you know, doing really bad things, as for example Bryce, but they somehow also are in that list, and they also like affected her, you know, in her decision to, you know, regarding the suicide. And that particular thing actually made me think maybe I did something wrong to someone as well in the past, or even right now. The way I speak with people, maybe, I don't know, the way I looked. I mean, you never know if what you were doing is good or not for somebody else. So the key to everything is actually communication. The more you speak with each other, you don't have any kind of secrets, the more, you know, secure you will be. I mean, you will be sure that you are not doing anything wrong, anything bad. Another episode was the episode with Hannah and Bryce, you know, at that party, how he did what he did with Hannah. That scene, it was just so disturbing in a way. I think it's because of the fact that, you know, of what happened, and also because how it was filmed. Basically the Hannah's face was just so close, and you can see her eyes. I mean, she was frozen. So it was like really just disturbing. Actually, I think a lot of the episodes, you know, how these powerful moments were filmed, this is actually what makes, you know, 13 Reasons Why so good for educating other people, for understanding how this actually happens, for understanding what happens inside a person's mind, for just accentuating all these issues, all these problems. And the last moment that was very powerful, and I just started crying, was the moment with, I mean, when she, you know, was in the bathroom and her parents found her. It was so, you can only imagine how I cried, and it felt so real. I mean, the actors were playing it so real. Like in the beginning, you know, when her mom saw it, she was like confused. She was like, no, no, no. And you know, in the beginning, you just don't understand what is this. You know, why Hannah is here, stay like this, and why there's blood in the water, and what's happening. And also her father. That was a very powerful moment. Now I'm taking this shade and I will apply this all over the eyelid. Also, the thing about the suicide, just let's say like this, I had these thoughts from time to time when I was a teenager, and I'm sure a lot of teenagers have these thoughts, and I remember I always was afraid to do it, because I don't even know why I was afraid. I was just afraid. Maybe because I always, you know, I was thinking that I should not, this is kind of not my life, and I should try to make my life better. I should try to correct all these problems that I have, and this is actually why I started to lose weight, and why I started my new lifestyle. You still have a lot of problems, a lot of you know, mental issues. If you lose that weight, it doesn't matter. Even if you correct something, you know, on your body that you don't like, that you think affects your life, you will still have some mental issues, you know, little mental problems left. Your soul. And of course I was thinking that, you know, oh, I will lose weight, my life will just be amazing and stuff. No, it's not like this. You need to correct some other things as well, because especially, you know, because I always was overweight and people always were treating me that way. Of course I had some amazing people in my life as well, some really good people. I still have some friends that I love, and you know, I have a really great relationship with them, but 70% of the people that, you know, were in my life were not so good to me. So these, all those things just affect you, let's say like this. I'm glad I found that Andre appeared in my life, because he is one of the reasons why I'm a bit more different right now and not how I used to be. He helps me like every day to go through some things, but he loves me and he wants to help me, and I can, you know, I can feel that, and that's important. I have no idea how long this video will be, I hope not too long. And I will apply a little bit of mascara, my Deja Vu mascara. And now I will just try to do my eyebrows. This is an Archery Brow Tint and Precision Shaping pen. And I mean, you saw this in my eyebrow tutorial that I posted not so long ago. And I will just try to draw a few hair-like lines. I don't understand why some people say what they say. It's a really nasty thing without even knowing, you know, the situation or whatever it is. Or say some bad things about a person that they don't know really, or they just heard the rumor from someone and they start saying it and adding a few things on top. I really don't understand this, like why they're doing this, why you just need to be nasty to someone, why somebody that has more power or has more popularity should be nasty to someone else, to someone that, I don't know, cannot defend themselves. Okay, now I will apply a little bit of my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder. This is in medium. She has a little bit of contour going on, so I will apply a little bit on my cheeks. And then she also has a lot of blush. Or maybe she is red naturally there. I mean, not red, but she has more color naturally there on the cheeks. And as a blush, I will apply this color. This is actually an eyeshadow from the Chosungah Honey Shimmer palette. But this color reminds me a lot of what she is wearing as a blush, so I will apply this one. And she has a lot of blush actually. And I think that really just makes her appearance more, just her makeup more youthful as well. Now for the lips, I will use this cream paint. This is from Moonshot. It's a lovely pinky reddish color. It's quite intense. It's called Dragon Fruits. And I will just apply a little bit on my finger. Tap the excess and then apply it on my lips. She has always like a tint, like a pinkish reddish tint. It makes her lips look very juicy in a way and very, again, very fresh looking. And it makes her lips a bit more even plump. I don't know how to explain that look, but I love it. So yeah, this product will help me to create that look as well. Okay guys, and this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, this chatty video. I hope you can share some things with me, with us as well. I hope we can be more kind to each other. We can observe some things. If you know something is not okay, we can see that. So I hope you will have a lovely day. I will see you in my next video. Take care.